I'm with George Zotti, the owner of Silver Snail, and it's Batman's 75th anniversary. Can you give me a little bit of background on the character?
Sure. Batman was created in 1939, for those people who are bad at math. Created by Bob Kane, and he was created as kind of the dark mirror to Superman. You know, Superman is truth, justice, and the American way, where Batman was very much a product of the pulp heroes, like the heroes even before Superman. So he was dark, he was brooding. And he was like a superhero who looked like a bad guy, but was a good guy. He's this flawed character who, your worst of times when you're a teenager, you're like, yeah, I'm so hard done by, and, things would be better if I could just beat people up that I don't like. So there's always that appeal to Batman.
Well, how popular are Batman comics?
Batman comic books now, thanks to the creative team that's doing it, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, are our best-selling superhero comics, bar none.
And why do you think they're still so relevant 75 years later?
I think in popular culture, you wear the symbol on your chest. I mean, you wear a Batman symbol on your chest, you see it everywhere. You instantly go, I know who that is, and I know what Batman's all about. Like, anybody can pick up a Batman comic book and start reading it at any time because we all know who he is, we all know what he's about.
Have the Batman movies helped the sale of Batman comics?
I think the Batman movies have certainly helped awareness of Batman. I think now you walk up to 90% of the people on the street and say, who is Batman? And they'll tell you Bruce Wayne or Christian Bale.
Yeah.
But that's made a difference to those sales and sales of graphic novels. But it certainly, when a Batman film comes out, we sell a lot more t-shirts and action figures and things like that.
You've been working in the comic book store since you were 13 years old.
Yeah.
Do you remember how much a comic cost back then?
Yeah, back then, on the cover of the comic book, it would say still only 75 cents. Right now, a comic book is $3.99, so it's been a while.
And so DC it tallies up the North American sales, and I was surprised to see that just in the past 10 years, sales are booming. Why is that?
Well, in the 90s, sales were certainly at their peak, and then they dipped down because everybody thought that I could buy a comic book and put my kids through college with it later on. Of course, that's not the case. So it did dip pretty low for a while, but it is starting to build now because the two major guys, Marvel and DC, have kind of kicked up their game. They're making sure that they know there's connection to outside media, so they're getting better artists, they're doing better stories, and all the smaller publishing companies like Image and Dark Horse and stuff like that have really diversified, have showed, okay, these guys got superheroes, and we're going to do comic books about sci-fi and fantasy, crime fiction, and all that stuff. So any genre that you're interested in, there's a comic book for.
And has the internet and digital comics hurt comic book sales?
Well, I think anybody we've lost or we were going to lose to digital sales, we already have. But there's just something about when you're flipping through a comic book and a double-page spread comes out. So, it's both pages, one piece of artwork. You can't really get that on a device, no matter how big your device is. Besides, I mean, even if comic book sales do sort of always peter away, we're going to be around to sell them Batman iPad covers, so.
And this weekend, it's an important day on Saturday. Can you tell me what that is?
May 3rd is Free Comic Book Day. It's an industry-wide event to get kids hooked young on comic books. So every comic book store across North America does it. Every major publisher publishes comic books that we give away for free. So
all you have to do is pretty much wait in line, right?
You just got to wait in line, and you can grab 10 or 12 free comic books from Marvel and DC and every other comic book publisher out there. So come and get some free comics.
Thank you very much, George.
You're welcome.